Good morning.
Good morning, Mariam.
Good to have you back in studio.
Thank you.
Tuanze, as usual, with the quote of the day. Jana will share the quote. Tell us if it resonates with you or if not.
The quote is by Dambisa Moyo, and she once said, "Governments that depend on aid answer to donors, not citizens." Motto.
I would take from a broader perspective, not necessarily government. I would say that the issue of sustainability is important in our lives.
Okay.
Whether it's in development, whether it's in the village, it's something that that is critical.
Okay.
I wanted to quickly start by asking you, from a regulator's perspective, how weak data protection hurts Kenya's economic competitiveness or investor confidence.
Thank you, Janet, for that question. And just to start by saying, we just recently launched a report on what we are calling data without borders, how trusted data flows can power Kenyan economic growth. And why is that important? Many times in the conversation, even in Kenya, around data protection have focused mostly towards rights-based approach. But fundamentally, really the issue around data protection is around economy. It's around data flows. And people will ask, what does it, is it a river? When we say data flows, and just to contextualize, I always like to give analogy. When you take your credit card, or even if you take our mobile money, you can transact. At that point, when you're transacting, they're intermediaries. There is a person where money is in the bank and it ends up in your phone. That is right there. There's data flowing from your bank to verify who you are. The same if you take your credit card. The same if you're transacting online. Today we have many leading online platforms where you can order things and have them delivered to your desk or to your doorstep from whichever part of the globe. Data protection really is that's the context, that you should be able to allow data to flow from one jurisdiction to the other, from one institution to the other. So the reason why it's important for Kenya when we launch this report in terms of why it's going to increase in terms of creating jobs, many people will tell you there are many BPOs, or what we call business process outsourcing, that would like to set up in Kenya. When you ask some of those who want to set up, they push back. They'll always ask, does Kenya have what we call adequacy with the European Union or with other countries? So data flows helps in terms of BPOs setting up. The other one is digital jobs. The other one, of course, that means that then you have more youth getting jobs. So this research we saw in terms of some of the benefits, apart from boosting economy, growth in business, lower pricing, you will be able to see, our projection is that as a data flow, you'll be able to see creation of jobs between 23,000 to almost 400,000. So that is good. And also, like I've said, BPOs will, and a growth, our projection from the report is between 1.5 billion dollars. There's that possibility. Yes.
Explain something. You've just used the word adequacy.
Yes.
Does Kenya have adequacy with another jurisdiction? What does that mean?
Having adequacy, it means that there is equal level of protection between data protection in this country, like it would be, for instance, in the European Union. Does Kenya have? Not yet. We are currently in the negotiation with the European Union to see whether we can actually get adequacy. We as Kenya also have an opportunity to give other countries adequacy. Let me give you an example of how that makes it. Even let's move away from the European Union. Let's talk about multinationals that are set up in Kenya and operate in South Africa and operate in Nigeria, or operate in Uganda, operate in Tanzania. You will find that many times some of these companies, the local laws will demand that they do a complete infrastructure setup, like a data center. It can be very expensive. But if you have adequacy in these countries, it means that the level of protection of personal data in Kenya is the same as in Uganda, is the same as in Tanzania, is the same as Europe. It means that you flow. I would look at it as a free visa. Yeah. So there are hakuna vikwazo. There's easy flow of information, easy flow. So there is trust in terms of if that information lands in that other country, it will get the same level of protection. Yeah.
We'll get into the report a little bit later.
Yes.
But I wanted to know how much we lose to data privacy breaches.
It's hard to tell. I can only estimate with the kind of fines we have, compensation we did last year, which was over 30 million compensation in the country. That is out of compensation, not necessarily data breaches. The reason I say that, it's because some of these you need a baseline. It's from what to what.
Right.
And partly is also because even though really the government has put efforts in terms of the digital economy, in terms of the ones that we know are the mostly big companies, there's a lot of trade happening in small medium enterprise. There's change email, there's plug and play. I want to send an email, I want to import goods from a certain jurisdiction, I just need to go to a certain platform. We may not have exact when they get breached, for instance, we may not be able to know exactly what's happening. But part of our work as an office is to continuously creating awareness and also to let businesses know within 72 hours of a breach, you need to report to the Office of the Data Commissioner. And so it's not because we want to curtail. I often say that the issue around data breach is not if, it's when. And it's become you will see big economies like the UK. Recently, the one of their big leads, like Jaguar, was hacked, and they were they lost a lot. I can't remember the exact amounts. So breaches can be quite costly to institutions. I can say what we have in terms of compensation, what we have done as a country. Time will come when we'll be able to say with specificities. And it's because when the internet was created, it was more of a place to be happy. And exchange information. We didn't see it like it's really, today internet is almost becoming like a right. Yeah, so it's increasingly, as we move towards creating guardrails, it then becomes an issue of even baseline. We are comparing this to what? Yes.
There's something that you've previously said, Madam Commissioner, which sticks all the time, that data is dignity. My data is my dignity, is my identity.
Yes.
Now, I can see what you're doing with this report, Data Without Borders. You're looking at our data, the one that you have a mandate to protect, leaving these borders for commerce purposes, commercial purposes. Yes. Okay? Now, what powers do you have with the regulation of all entities within Kenya with sharing our data outside of Kenya? Can you tell when our data is being shared outside Kenya for whatever reason, whether it's for research purposes, for marketing purposes, for market development purposes, for product development purposes? Can you tell?
We may not be able to. It assumes that we have a gateway.
One door.
In Kenya, we have what we call internet exchange, which is Tescop is the one who controls that. In terms of personal data, becomes very difficult because of the multiple layers. But in terms of guardrails, what is in place to make sure that happens? One, there's no harm. There's nothing. The law does not prohibit data moving from one jurisdiction to the other. What it says is in terms of when if you're doing that, it's important to let the data commissioner know. At the point of where, and that's why it's important we talk about registration of certain category of data controllers, you're expected to tell us if you're going to transfer the data to another jurisdiction. For obvious reason, it's an issue of principle, we say accountability. If my information will be moved from Kenya to another jurisdiction, as the owner of that data, because I'm not a commodity, I need to know. So that is why it's important to let the Office of the Data Commissioner know. There are several reasons, and what we say the reason for transfer of data. One is what we have said, you can only transfer to a country if there's adequacy measures. You can also transfer for contractual purposes. You can transfer for what we call virtual interest. If, for instance, if you're unwell and people in your family need you to be, for instance, perhaps airlifted, God forbid, for reasons of health, then somebody has to, that process, there's transfer of data there. There's also, there also a legitimate interest. So there are several categories of when you can transfer personal data. Of importance that we always emphasize, accountability, transparency, and to let the person whose data is needs to know, and this is at the point of collection. Yeah. So when they register with us, they will tell us that it's likely we'll transfer our data to a third jurisdiction. This is what it means. And for your information, transfer of data is now almost a course, because, for instance, many organizations, including perhaps even here at Nation Media, you're using cloud.
Yeah.
Cloud, many times we don't know cloud. We assume it's the cloud upstairs. But many times in terms of cloud services, cloud services offered are hardly ever in the jurisdiction.
Yeah.
They are always out. So that is it's an ongoing. It's like what can I say? What can I control? Data flows. It's almost like eating nowadays. Literally, there will for you to have any transaction. There must be data flows. Many times these data flows and where it is stayed is and it is also outside the jurisdiction. But you must make sure the guardrails are there. And if you're accountable, I say when you let your customers know, then they trust you more. And the event there is a breach, then you know where to know, because some of the times data controllers do not tell you where the data is, and then they are breached and they do not have access. And those are some of the things we take into account. In fact, even when we penalize, that whether it's a compensation, whether it is a penalty, what did you even know where your data was in the first place? So are you in control? How long did you lose control? And the importance of having this kind of information in the event you had a data breach, you're able then not to put your customers offline. You're able to then resume services as soon as possible.
There's a question here from Phaedra Sen. Good morning, Janet, Mariam, Eric, and Immaculate. My question is, emails and documents which were in my possession, will they amount to data violation in a case against the former employer?
That's an interesting one. I would be guided by what the policies of the organizations are. What do the policies say? Once you exit, are you supposed to then terminate and also share? Yeah.
Let's get into the Data Without Borders report a little bit more. What are the key highlights for you, the things that stood out for you?
The things that stood out for me, because of the issue around creation of jobs for the youth, that is one of the things that stood out for me. If we have more BPOs, and we've seen jurisdictions such as India, in Bangalore, for instance, some of the things why that economy has thrived is because of business process outsourcing. People came there, they had call centers, they were assembling things. But you see, if you don't have your country does not guarantee data flows, it becomes very difficult. So for me, BPOs being able to set up in this country is something that is very important. And also the projection that of creation of job of between 23,000 to almost 400,000. The other one is the growth of economy from to almost 5.5 billion US dollars. For me, those are things that are standing out for in terms of the growth in terms of this report. And we were purposeful of this because when people talk about data flows, we were clear, we needed, and of course the other one is also high productivity, because people are not able to relate what is the importance of data protection and the economy. They are not able to relate. They say it's just another compliance requirement. It's just another additional burden. SMEs will say, we don't have money. What does this mean for us? It means they have to recruit an additional hand of data protection. That's what they will say. But when we are able to demonstrate this report, these additional benefits in terms of even strong public financing, that is able to then give you the other side of data protection and the contribution to the economy.
So there's that. It's a clear one, as you say, that growth here means growth of industry growth, more jobs opportunities and all. But you've also touched on what many micro, small, medium enterprises will complain about compliance costs. And because you're also sharing this with your compatriots in government, are you advising them on how then they can support the infrastructure so there is greater compliance? People will understand. People will want to comply, but people will be unable to comply. Because, I mean, if I'm looking at all the other things, this data issue, for me, is not a major thing because I'm not collecting data for nefarious purposes. I'm not trading in this data, so it's not bringing me any money. I'm just holding data, but there's what it means.
We are, and one of the projects we have embarked on with the ministry and also with GIZ is to targeted training for government institution, because we started from a point of By the way, I have to say I was impressed when I walked in. I saw Nation Media has data privacy notices and even telling data subjects their rights. That well done. That is commendable. We came from that point of what is happening to now people are beginning to appreciate where we are. I think last year we trained almost 1,000 people from the government institution, and we continue to do so that they are actually able to help when they are conducting their businesses, to help people appreciate what this is about. But also more importantly, for small medium enterprise, you don't have to start big. Just start small as knowing where your data is. It's so important, because you don't know it's in flash disks, is in a server, I don't know. Right. Can you give us just do small audits of where exactly your data is? Your data, and in this case, is data for your customers, not all data, because also that's the other thing, people assume it's about all data. Where is it? If you can answer that question, you then ask the next question, how can I secure it? And then you answer the next question, who are the people I'm working with? And this is in the case businesses, because you find most times the biggest point when it comes to data breaches, they are actually third party.
Right.
Those integrators, people who then plug in, and we trust them. We tell them, wewe angalia tu your server, sijui ni nini inaendelea. We then don't go back. So those small steps help you build up. And then also there's value in working together with other organizations. For instance, if you want a data protection officer, you don't have to hire one yourself. Okay. Please you can pull resources from others or outsource. Outsource. And then we also have free classes being done by KEPSA, being done by ourselves. Approach us. Okay. And also we have also listed a list of people who are available to train. So those are places for you. Knowledge is power. And knowledge is power when because everybody is being is using the internet. Only when you have a breach. Don't wait for that. It's too late by then. It's going to be too late. It can have consequences. We've seen from our office, even small medium enterprise getting into problems. Right. And a case in point is a cyber security cafe. By innocence, the person not knowing or knowing takes somebody's CV and uploads it on their website as a marketing strategy. It cost them. It cost them because that is personal data. So don't assume that you're a small medium enterprise. We've seen fashion designers who, out of lack of knowledge, because even processing data includes that processing of marketing of your fashion, and a client came and you told them, please let me take a photo, and you never explain to them. Yes, you never explain to them what this means. So that's a small medium enterprise, right? They are suffering consequences of ignorance. Right. There is nothing. We are very open. We have offices across the country, in Mombasa, in Kisumu, in Eldoret, and also in Nyeri, and it's just in Nakuru. Come to our offices, and our website, I believe, is friendly. If you want to know about registration, go there. If you want to know whether the countries you want to transport data to have adequate measures, go and check which countries can we. If you have no clarity in terms of where you're sending your information to a different country, right to the data commissioner. We will give you an advisory. We cooperate ourselves as being an office that is open for stakeholders in whatever form.
Okay. Looking a bit like at now in the future, what are some emerging areas of worry around and concern around data privacy and also opportunities for us to grow our economy?
I think one of the concerns that is growing is artificial intelligence. And I say it's a concern and an opportunity because it's slowly becoming like electricity. It's we can't ignore it. And I'll give an example of what currently is happening. And I'm sure I don't want to sound like an alarmist, but it's the truth. You've seen in the last couple of days people uploading and really sharing how they look nice after they upload their photos on ChatGPT. What you have just done is shared your biometrics. Yes.
And you've helped train AI.
Yes. Wow. Yes. Simple. You have done that. In future, I can actually somebody doing that analytics. They can actually tell every single thing about you. You clicked, you didn't ask what are the purpose. Of course, it looks nice.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge. You want to do it, but you never stop to ask. And then you will complain, why do these people get information? While you're helping them, perhaps they don't have African data. You're helping them train visual. And yeah, so that is a thing.
Same thing as these challenges. Show us a picture of you in 2016 versus 2026.
Yes. So you're training
AI to age
and
people
we
better,
for free, because for the other person we call it capitalist surveillance. You're just going to be making money in another couple of years.
Yeah, so that's a concern.
Yeah, that's
But
a concern. The opportunity, of course, because it has made it has made our work easier. It has made our work easier. It's easy to share research. For instance, it has created jobs. Even for us at the BPOs, we've seen business process outsourcing, AI companies coming here to tap on our talent. There are young people we pride ourselves as a country as having some of the best skills. They are great opportunity for our young people to actually train. And also there's great opportunity for us because the AI models currently globally, they do not have Africa in mind. So we have an opportunity there to train as Africa and perhaps someday have our own platform. Not rely on third-party platforms which we are not returning any resources to Africa.
What safeguards are there? I'm still on that. So there's a lot of this that happens on say, social media. So you're uploading your data and you just don't think beyond what is happening now, but you're also giving away your very sensitive data. Are there any safeguards that we have in our laws, in our adequacies, that will protect that data, that will protect me?
We do have
against misuse.
We have that, but at the end of the day, it is like your house. If you don't lock the doors, Eric.
You have grilled windows, but you didn't lock the door.
The responsibility starts with you. We have the guardrails, but the call for action, it's yourself. Please always stop and ask why, because we have a tendency of asking that in some cases. In others, we don't ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm asking that because, it happens all the time. So we are sharing a lot of our personal data.
Do we read between the lines?
All these things.
Terms and conditions. Because for us, the guardrail for that kind of sharing on the person on the other end is why they need to be transparent about why they're collecting that information. They need to tell you for how long they'll keep it. They need to tell you what their deletion mechanisms are. Then you can access as a data right. You can actually ask how much information do you have about me. So you have those rights, and those are the guardrails for us, is to make sure those are upheld.
Final question. This one we've waited for you for long. You can come and tell us. So Kenya signed a deal with the USA
Yes.
for financing of health, and the whole conversation here was about our medical research data records being shared willy-nilly with this big country that can then do whatever it wants with it.
Yeah.
Are you protecting us?
Absolutely. One, I can't comment on that because it's in court, but I want to assure Kenyans that one of the things I have seen, at least actively from government agency, they seek advisories from us. Our work is to issue advisories, and even if we don't stop at advisories, we have an obligation to undertake audit. And beyond the audit is to make sure that being fulfilled. So that we are doing continuously and in a very proactive manner as an office.
Did you review this agreement?
We were, for sure, we gave our advisory in terms of what the gaps were. And if you recall, initially it was 27 years, it came down to 7. Initially it was about talking about applying American law. It was changed to Kenyan law. That was as a result of our advisory. We gave our advisory in terms of what needs to happen.
So by the time of signing, the data commissioner was satisfied with the texts.
We had given an advisory in terms of the extent to which they were supposed to fulfill.
You're a lawyer, I know. Wakili, I'm asking a direct question. Had you seen the contract?
We had given an advisory, that's for sure. I can't deny from that, yes.
Did you see the contract after it was signed?
After it was signed, I would have to check that with my colleagues.
So you're not sure whether they complied with your advisory to the letter?
to the letter, I would give that information post-audit. But at the point of that discussion, we give an advisory.
Very diplomatic answer. We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Immaculate Kassait, our Data Protection Commissioner. We'll take a short break and then talk about sports tourism and exactly how to grow it in the country. #FixingTheNation NTV.